We are telling your followers that you're started a live video. Live strip, more like Instagram. Because I'm going to start taking my clothes off any second now. Here we go. Taking off my clothes. Actually, you've all seen it already. Rewriting Extinction. Join. Wave. Hello. Accept. Go live with Rewriting Extinction. Val. Hello, all of you actual human beings out there living your lives. Hello, Paul Goodenough.
How you doing? You doing all right, Robert? I hear you're going to take off some clothes for me.
Sorry about the lateness, everyone. But you know that seems to be part of my personality these days, being generally flaky towards phone obligations. You understand.
I mean, you've been through some stuff in your life. You know, in your various roles, you've seen things. So we can forgive you this.
Yeah, and I'm allergic to clocks. Highly allergic to clocks. So come here. Are we waiting for Miss Fräulein to come on? The artist of our lovely new comic book.
We are indeed. We can keep chatting in the middle. I'm just looking at some of your followers, man. They ask some really weird questions. I'm just watching the comments go past.
Did you see some questions? I didn't see no questions.
Do you love eggs?
What?
So it says, do you love eggs? I'm like,
do you know, that might be somebody who once fed me a raw egg at a Chicago Comic-Con, who has since contacted me a few times because I can't remember who did the video, but then that person sent the video to my friend and then was on kind of trying to find the video or asking, did I still have the video? Do you love eggs? I do love eggs. Me gusto los huevos. Sí.
Who turned up the temperature?
Anyway, so that might be that egg person who's asking.
Maybe. Oh. Or maybe just some weirdo who just like...
Oh, yeah, no, they're saying banana juice. That was not me, but I can offer you an egg if you like. Go on, then. I'd like to see how you do this.
So it looks like someone's saying Miss Fräulein or Val is looking to come in. I'm just quickly scrolling through the comments.
Oh, yeah. So her thing will pop, folks. You know, my Instagram literacy levels are on the floor, so I have to wait until her little fella pops up.
Yeah.
Her thumbnail.
Well, in the meantime, if you like, do you want me to quickly explain to your variety of followers who the fuck I am? Because they're probably wondering.
Who is Paul Goodenough, and when did he get out of that penitentiary?
They never managed to make anything stick, mate. That was the thing. Nothing stuck. They tried and they tried, but I walked out of there a free man.
Slippery devil, ladies and gentlemen. He's a slippery one.
Well, so for those of you guys who don't know, what I do, I founded a charity called Rewriting Extinction. And what that's trying to do is make environmentalism less worthy and a bit more fun. So we make comics for people like Robert, and we do short films and videos and all sorts of funny things. And the point is to basically just take environmentalism back and just make it more for the people rather than kind of for the elite.
Take it out of the hands of the social action heroes. Oh, commiserations to you, Brazil. Commiserations, Brazil. Oh, I watched the end of that match with my head in my hands. It's painful, but sorry to change the subject. Yeah, Rewriting Extinction is an incredibly worthwhile thing, which is, I think, putting the kind of awareness of climate change back into sort of interesting storytelling terms. You know, it got me thinking about the Holy Bible recently, right? Because
I'm listening.
They analogize in the Bible, in terms of heaven and sense of duality and oneness and blah blah blah. It's all language that has been converted into story or psalm, because I think people, 2,000 years ago were there. There was a guy proselytizing up on the parapet, and no one was listening, because when there's no story, when there's no sense of, conflict journey resolution, people get bored, frankly.
Of course they do.
You can raise awareness all day long, but really when you're missing that kind of sense of narrative that hooks into people's hearts, you're at nothing. And I think that's kind of where religious texts evolved from. Literally, a guy up, self-important guy up there, proselytizing wildly from the podium, and everybody going, "This is boring. Do you want to go and do you want to go eat lunch?" And then they started storifying it, you know. And that's what I think. That's what sort of Paul Goodenough has very cleverly cottoned onto in the modern era, about talking about something that's very important and affects us all, like oneness or climate change. Where's Miss Fraulein?
Absolutely, well, thank you, man.
After... Oh,
she
yeah.
just tried to call me, actually. So give me a couple of seconds.
Okay.
I'm going to quickly see if I can get hold of her. I think she's maybe struggling to get in.
Get her on speaker.
Oh, well, that'll be weird. I think like your voice and hers in two different ears. It'll be a curious threesome.
Dogs. Yeah. Sorry, we're experiencing reality at two different paces here. Hello, I'm from Mexico. Well done. All right, now I'm on my own here. Let me talk to you, lovely folks. There, hamburgers.
No. I'm back again.
All.
So Miss, it says Mrs. Fraulein is back on the call. So hopefully you might be able to see her in your request area.
The Fifth Element with a picture of Tom Hopper with a bloodied lip. It's just Heather. I missed you so much. I missed you too, whoever you are. By God, I miss you. I miss the Earth Locker. Do you know what? Just today we were talking about the Earth Locker, Tom Hopper, Byron Knight and I, and trying to finagle a time and a place to do a second series of it. You belong to an Earth Locker episode. Yes, but it'll probably be... oh, hey, Mrs. Fräulein. Oh, no, that's Rewriting Extinction.
It's me again. Sorry, mate. She's here, though, so you might be able to see her request. She said she sent a request, right? You might have to scroll up. It's
scroll
about
up.
6 comments from my Hey, Mrs. Fraulein.
Up above.
Honestly,
man, I know this is scintillating television to watch, all of you.
Seriously, it is.
Even when the World Cup is on. But the thing is, it's not... because yours popped up very noticeably on the right-hand side where all the hearts are popping up. It came up, kapoom. So, Miss Fraulein, hang on, let me go to the bottom there. I'm from Italy. Good. Hi, Brazil, please. Could you send me a greeting, Angeline? Angeline, a big, wet, sloppy kiss from me. What's your favourite Marvel superhero? I don't care about any of them. Good evening from the UK. Good evening to you.
You know you're in a Marvel film soon, yeah? You can't say you don't care about any of them. Me,
my character, Dragon.
There you go.
He's from the, it's not my,
Don't worry, I can dig you out of that hole.
Ironic, talking about having written a comic with you and saying how I don't really care that much about Marvel. But it's true. I love so much. You're the best person. Oh, yeah, okay. Thank you very much. That's very kind. K-pop song. Again, not familiar with much K-pop. Although I did meet those, what are they called? GOT7 or GOT8. I met those lads once at an event and they went, they gave us free shoes. So sweet.
The height of fame, getting shoes.
Getting shoes for nothing.
I don't want to say. She says she's sent a request.
Oh.
I can't see what you see, man.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
We can just talk about it behind her back if you want.
Yeah, well, maybe in a minute or two she can check your notifications for the request. And that might be the questions. Okay, maybe they're in here. Thank you for the advice, folks watching. Thank you for your patience. What's your favorite song at the moment? Hang on. I'll just try to do one thing before. I'll just try to find Miss Fraulein in here, which she should be a little bit further down along this list of thing. I don't know where this... will there be a season 4 of the Umbrella Academy? Yes, there will. We're starting shooting it in February. What inspired you to write your book? I just loved writing. Miss Fraulein, love writing. It's a very creative pastime. Good to flex the old creative muscles.
I don't know how you love writing. I honestly, I love the process of coming up with the idea and seeing the final product. Everything in between is just frustrating as hell for me.
Yeah. Well, I can relate to that, Paul.
Because you've already thought of it, haven't you? It's already there. It's in your head. You're just slowly bashing away at a keyboard trying to get it out.
Yeah, and you've thought of the scaffolding, and then you're trying to eke out all the kind of flesh and all the other bits that you stick on top of it, innit? You know.
I'll try again, just to message her and see if she can just try and request again.
Yeah, one more, and I'm keeping an eye on it, but it's I love you too. It's surprising because I haven't seen any other requests pop up. Oh, thanks, Sashmala. You can say hola, sí, hola, ¿qué tal? ¿Qué pasa? Invite Aiden. Please don't cry.
We say Klaus can't die. I mean, that's kind of one of the things he's mostly known for, surely.
Yeah, but then at the end of Series 3, they all lost all their powers, so now they're all little fragile leaves just flitting about in reality. So we'll see what happens with that. What was the best moment?
I mean, I was trying to do no spoilers.
No, but that was at the end of the series. You know, they've already wet that gunpowder. Ciao from Italy.
I trust me. I know. Well,
that was
I've
just
asked
waving at me.
Should we just keep going, maybe?
Yeah, you know. So we're talking about our comic book, what we clacked our heads together on and came up with, and we came up with 2, didn't we, Paul?
We did indeed.
First of which, Miss Fraulein, Val. What's Val's full name again?
Minelli.
Val Minelli.
But if people want to follow her, it's just Mrs. Fraulein. That's her moniker.
Mrs. Fraulein. See.
Yeah, it sounds nice when you say it.
So I give it a bit of velvet, you know. Back of the throat.
Back of the throat was my nickname at school.
Oh, dirty pup. Mucky pup.
That was my other nickname at school. But yeah, I've actually got it on screen here, actually, so I can show people a bit of a sneaky peeky.
Yeah. So Paul and I came up with the concept of, you know, how do we put the notion of climate change humorously into a comic strip? And here we have a posh banquet going on, and the waiter there on the left is saying, "Dinner is served." And all the richies are there. And then they all reveal the meal. And what is it? It's a big load of cash on a plate. Cash and gold coins.
And then,
why? That's money. That is correct, sir. It's all that's left, sir.
And should we reveal the last panel, or should we just wait until the comic drops?
Oh, yeah, no, let's not reveal the last panel.
Oh,
let's get them all nice and oiled up.
And I've got to give Rob a lot of credit here, because I've worked with, over the past year and a half, I've worked with over 380 people to create comics and stories about the environment. And actually, I didn't feel as unhelpful in any of them as yours, because you just pretty much just did the whole thing.
Ah, thanks, Paul. Well, I mean, I certainly didn't do the whole thing. We just clacked around the concept, and then now the thing actually exists, and that's credit to you, you know.
Well, and Miss Fraulein, I'm the fluffer in between you two.
Well, we need, you know, every set needs a fluffer, Paul. And including the Umbrella Academy set.
if there's a job going, I'll be there.
You can now interview for the job of Fluffer season 4. So,
can I have that in writing somewhere? And I think what was really cool about the idea that you come up with, I remember you were saying about that really beautiful indigenous quote, you know, when the last tree has been cut down and the last fish caught, the last river poisoned, only then will we realise we cannot eat money. And that was the thing that got this going.
Was that me or was that you? Was that me that came up with that? Oh no, I didn't come up with that, but that repeated that to you.
I remember.
Nice. Yeah. And it was interesting because that day when we spoke for the first time, the day previous, we had gone to visit my friend in the Midlands of Ireland, who lives in a house with a grass roof, right? And in the walls are bales of hay. You know, like the walls are made of bales of hay. And then we were sleeping in his kind of spare house on his land, which is way in the middle of like this beautiful little coppice of trees. And he built with his friends. He built his house out of old glass windows that they'd found in a factory. And they were like, "Look at this! There's enough to create like a two-story kind of tiny house." And say happy birthday. And so that's what we were sleeping in. So it was basically kind of glorified camping in the forest, you know, where you could see out the windows. And it was so it was quite poignant for that reason, really. You know?
Mate, that place looked insane. It looked like something from like some sort of Guillermo del Toro film, didn't it? It was incredible.
Yeah. It was all sort of kind of cobbled together by love and a kind of love for sustainability. So it was quite the setting for us to embark upon this this cool comic book project. And the second, we've also done a second one, but with a different comic book artist.
Want me to show that too?
Yeah. That one's cool as well. It's really good. What do you love most about the Umbrella Academy? My fellow cast. I love them all. Where can I buy a copy of this? Oh, this comic book, yeah.
Well, it's free. The point
is
to basically share it as far and wide as you can.
Yeah, do us a favor. If you want to buy it, share it. Convert your desire to buy into desire to share, and then have it always. And then illegally print it off the internet. We don't mind. Can you say hi, Brazil? Hi, Brazil. Sorry, Brazil. That really stung. I watched you in the World Cup there. You deserved it. He deserved it. But then again, you lost, so he didn't.
Do you find it easy making friends or not, Robert?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Hey, man, I'm a realist. I love you too. So this other comic book, it's a bit sort of gritty. The execution of the art of it is different in that it's quite sort of dark, noir. And there we see a character, and he's sort of sat hunched on the big sea of Central Park Zoo, and around him is the dystopic environment of New York. Everything's gone to shit. Who's going to win the World Cup? I don't know. Sneaking suspicion it might be England. So then this character we see around the zoo, we see all the animals are dead. The porcupine's just a skeleton on the ground. All of his needles have rotted away. And then we've got the next panel, just the smell of death. And this character, this kind of raw-boned, sinewy character with next to no flesh on his bones.
Like
and
some sort of goat, maybe.
Yeah, like a golem. Yeah. And then it's funny because I'm seeing the comic book through all of the comments, so it's really like me going, "What's your favorite color?"
I'm doing the same thing, like trying to keep on track, but then also getting distracted by all the things people are saying.
So yeah, here we are, close up of our sinewy golem character, and he's noticing something. What's he noticing? He's like, "Oh, hello, what is it?" And then we see him walking. He's heading out of Central Park Zoo, and he's walking across the surface of a vast dead landscape. He's just kind of walking like almost like a zombie in a kind of a unconscious droney kind of. And here he is. He's still moving. He's traveling. There's passing of time. We see behind him he's reached some sort of coastal region. There are boats that have been beached, and there's all dead everything all over. There's fish skeletons and mouse corpses and
mouse corpses.
And then he finds something, what he's been smelling. And we'll look at it, what it is. It's a tiny little fresh green sapling. It's a sign of new growth. Yes, I did. Paul and I made this comic book together. We wrote it together. And then we got a fabulous artist visualize it for us.
Yeah,
And
Daniel
so,
Zazelle, she deserves a lot of credit. He's a fantastic artist. I mean, I don't know about you, Rob, but when I saw what he came back with, I was blown away.
Sexy. What's his name again? His handle on Instagram for everybody?
Daniel Zazelle. I can put it in the chat window in a moment when I'm not using both my other hands.
Yeah, right you are. And so then our golem, he finds the little sapling and he pulls it up out of the ground, but it's still got the dirt around its root. And he's looking at it, fascinated, thinking, maybe he recognizes it from a time before.
And do you think we should not, again, just leave it on the cliffhanger?
Yeah, let's keep it on a cliff, everyone.
Oh, God, we are evil.
Just so you know, Paul is holding back the final kind of slate of each comic book because they're sexy punchlines. They're funny. They're emotional. Go to Rewriting Extinction to check them out. The first one is coming out. The one with the Billionaire's Banquet is coming out after this. Wicked
Directly
cool.
afterwards. As soon as I hang up the phone, it's going out.
Beautiful. Wicked. And you'll all visit Rewriting Extinction and check it out. And maybe share it if you're feeling generous.
Yeah, please. I mean, the more good it can do. Sorry, man.
No, yeah, absolutely. Tell us, because we did write this comic together. We had a kind of a brainstorm session on the phone. And, I came off the phone with you, Paul, with a couple of other ideas in my head thinking, this is an interesting creative partnership. And I even texted you a couple of weeks ago going, we should do more, shouldn't we?
Yeah, mate, I'm bang up for it. And actually, there's also a thing I'm working on at the moment. It's a little bit confidential, but it's doing short films, basically.
And animated or live action?
It can be either, actually. The slate is open for both. So, you've obviously you can narrate as well, I've just heard. Clearly, you have narration to your many talents.
Oh, stop it, Paul. Thank you.
Stop it. God, But yeah, mate, I would literally, I'd eat a bag of toenails to do something again.
Here, a bag of toenails. Ugh, there's an image for you. Maybe that's the...
Is that better than the fluffing or not?
Well, eating bags of toenails is an English pastime, isn't it? In the form of
when you're working class, like I am, that's your Christmas present.
Oh dear! But it was a really cool and interesting creative experiment for me to come up with something along these lines because it's hard. It's hard. But it was thrilling because it was easy with you, kind of clacking heads, and felt like we were in a writer's room. Because I'm like you, I really like Shehab, I see your message. I'm going to save the Instagram live. I will save it if I figure out how to do that. Just tell me which of the icons I click. Paul, you can tell me maybe.
I can. When you basically click the X at the top right-hand corner, it will literally just have a button that says like post to your feed or something like that. Just hit yes.
Yeah,
that's it.
No worries. Got you, Shehab. Got your backs. But anyway, it felt like being in a writer's room and sort of, it's hard to come up with a comic book, I think, where you're operating off of 4 or 8 panels, very, very limited. And so, you have to kind of set free the story within those restraints. And you have to kind of set up the expectation and then you have to dash it with a kind of a punchline, ideally, at the end, something that's going to bypass people's sense of rationalism, because I think that's what good comic books or good comedy or whatever it is does. It goes past your sense of A to B, B to C, C to D, and so on.
And actually, again, without looking to lick your bum too much, I think you just inherently got that, mate. Got the idea of like you push someone down the line. They think they know where they're going. They think they know what's going to happen next.
Yeah.
Then at the last minute, wham, side switch.
Yeah.
No, you did not know where you're going.
And it's a perfect analogy for climate change because ultimately, the outcome, the story is still in probably panel 2 or 3 if there were 4, So we're still in the conflict journey part and the resolution has not really come along. I think the resolution will come along only, as a result of maybe the democratization of power, the sort of addressing the food production system. You know, the food, you know, the way animals used to exist on this planet was perfectly good for the environment because they were here, they were part of it. You know, in North America, the plains of America, you had buffalo that ran across the plains. Uh, you know, they ate and shat and kicked up the ground. They ate and shat and kicked up the ground. And they were incredibly good for new growths, you know. They're essentially like seed movers. And so these days our food production has become disastrous because the animals like the bovine animals, be they cows or, you know, in the case of the human food production, they're all being kept in one paddock and they're being fed corn, which is not an ideal food to feed to a cow. And ultimately, the fact that they're being kept in one spot is creating a super hot Jedi sword of methane, which is incredibly bad for the environment. So it's really just about adjusting small things, you know, food production and energy production. I think those are the two things that, if we kind of figured out cleaner ways, considerably cleaner ways to do those, we'd be doing really, really well. Like all our energy provision on planet Earth at the moment, 70% of the climate damage being caused is caused by the power that we need, you know, residentially and commercially. And so there are all sorts of new and interesting innovations happening around the democratization of power. So if you have a house with a small roof, or you have a little bit of land, there are people now furiously inventing ways in which we can start to create our own power, you know, by just literally taking it out of the air via the wind or via the sun, you know. And I think that's where things have to go, towards the democratization of energy, because at the moment there are 10 oil and gas companies fucking up the planet, ladies and gentlemen. 10 oil and gas companies. You can look them up. There's no point naming them. Because,
For
you know,
very legal reasons, there's no point.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, they are, for legal reasons, they are not fucking up the planet, ladies and gentlemen. They're really not doing that. And so, yeah, I don't know, Paul. What do you think will happen? Do you think it'll be all out and out disaster?
I
It
think
already is.
I've been looking into this for the last like 10 years. And I'm actually really optimistic about the future. I think if you look at 2040 and beyond, I think we're going to be in a really good situation. And I think that's not presented to people. That actually a lot of environmentalism seen as reductionism, like we'll take away the meat, we'll take away your fossil fuels, we'll take away your flights and your holidays. But actually, there's actually some really good shit coming down the line.
Yeah.
Some really things that would just make us have cleaner air, make us actually not feel guilty for the actions we take. The problem is, I think there's about 10 years of absolute shit on earth is going to happen next, where all of the climate stuff we've been doing for the last 20, 30 years is going to come home to roost. There's going to be floods, there's going to be climate migrancy, people are unable to grow food in their countries, so they have to move countries. There'll be like a 10-year period where it's just going to be pretty rough. And then after that, I think we'll be in a really good spot.
Yeah, when we start to reverse the effects.
Yeah. It's going to take time, man. It's going to take time. And I think, for me, the problem is that no one is telling... no one is unfair. Not many people are telling the story that the world will just be better after this. It will actually be kinder, more fair, more just. You'll see more animals around, and who doesn't like animals?
Yeah, more animals. And, you know, I read about Granada in the south of Spain recently as an example for, you know, maybe suggestions to people to, there's my mate Pantelis from Montreal. All right, Pantelis! But so Granada is the fourth most polluted city in Spain, you know. And so as a result of this, they're creating something called El Anillo Verde, which means the green belt around the city. And it's like, more green belts around cities. Why not? You know, literally create a halo of oxygenation and decarbonification around every city on Earth. Why not? You know, now is the time. You know, your city, wherever it is, might be open to the idea, might be dying for the idea, and just needs a little bit of civilian people power to actually kind of give it the catalyst, give it the fuel to get it underway. You know, but I think, you know, it's easy
totally
stuff.
agree. And rewilding for me is a massive thing. I don't know if you know much, or your fans know a lot about it, but I'll quickly just show something on screen. so I think it's really interesting. I always try and show it to everyone. So
Mm.
rewilding is basically the actual process. A lot of people don't realise there are countries where we live. At one point, were probably just as interesting as the Serengeti or where people go on safaris.
Mm.
And so rewilding is basically finding the missing species who you can put back into that ecosystem to basically make it all wild again. And
Mm.
then you can actually tie ecotourism into your own country.
Yeah.
Make people want to go outside and go for a holiday on their doorstep rather than need to go to, say, Africa or Bali or wherever.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And spend 8 hours in an airplane, you know, shitting jet fuel into the into the stratosphere to get
What
there.
have you been eating if you're shitting jet fuel?
Airline food.
True. Yeah, you got me there. I feel so bad for Val. She was so looking forward to this.
I
I
know, and
think
we just corresponded as well in messages on things. She said to me, "Oh, yeah, cool, I'm ready to go," and she'd she'd had a little wolves.
an Obscura girl. Yeah, you're saying about the wolves released into national parks. We've been involved in one of those projects, and actually, something just one-handed. That's what the why this is the cover of our book.
The most important comic book on earth. Stories
Unfortunately,
to
yeah,
say something.
unfortunately, it was made before actually you and I met. I'm so sorry, Rob. We have to make a second one just with you and I in it.
You can't take credit for that. Well, we
But yeah,
will anyway.
that was just an anthology basically put together. I put together over lockdown. 300 of us got together and just made stories about the planet and had a bit of a laugh at the same time, hopefully.
Oh, fantastic, fantastic! Really and truly, if you want a kind of a refreshing change to how we receive information about climate change, which sometimes is just deeply, deeply overwhelming and depressing, go to Rewriting Extinction. Oh, there's Mrs. Fraulein. There she is. She just did
A little sad face.
a little sad face. Right, I see your thumbnail, Mrs. Fraulein. Go on. Oh, a late edition, like the Croatian goal in extra time. Go on, Mrs. Fraulein. Pop on, do another request there. I saw you pop up, if you can. Anyway, so that's cool. The most important comic book on earth. Can you get that via the Rewriting Extinction Instagram page?
You can, yeah. It's also available in all good bookstores, including the monolithic Amazon. So anyway, and also I should say to people, if you buy it, every copy protects 3 meters of rainforest or cloud rainforest as well. So 100% of the money that I would get for writing the book, all of it is going towards saving animals from extinction. We've already bought 3,300 acres of land, a national park in Guatemala, and given it back to the indigenous people.
Guatemala is on with us. I just saw hello from Guatemala.
Oh, hello,
hello
Guatemala. We bought your national park.
Wow.
Yeah, and so we've saved
Hello,
over
Alina.
600 species from the immediate threat of extinction, which mostly was habitat loss with the money that the book has raised. And yeah, so if people want to buy it, knock yourself out. Tell a friend.
Yeah, I'm going to buy that book. What a nice book it would to buy someone over the Christmas break, you know.
Well, I can
Something
send you
that
one.
actually has a story attached to it, you know.
I'll send you one. I'll
story.
stick a few sort of like candid nudes in the pictures for you.
Of you?
Yeah, of course.
Or
I'm not weird.
the
Don't put somebody else in there.
just different exotic animals in negligees and stuff.
Yeah, just a panda with a little coitus look over the shoulder.
It's cruelty to endangered animals to be putting negligees and basques and peephole bras on them. Even
You're right.
If it is hilarious.
It's greenwashing at its worst.
Oh,
well,
that's really good. I'm going to buy that. Please, no, honestly, let me buy that comic book because I have a niece and nephew who are they love kind of new books and they're smart little pups, and so it'd be nice to kind of indoctrinate them nice and early. They're only 4 years old, so I'd love to buy them a couple of copies of that, and then feel the warm glow of satisfaction.
Well, mate, if you drop me their addresses, and I'll write a little something and get them a signed copy.
Oh, thanks, Paul. That's really sound. I will do.
Next
I'll exploit you. Gladly exploit you. It's for the kids though, so put twice as many nudes in there, okay?
Yeah, raised in the way that we were raised, right?
with pornography laid around in the dining and sitting areas.
In bushes and hedges all across my local neighbourhood. That was basically that was why we went for walks as kids.
Just that's back in a big way, isn't that interesting? You know?
Yeah.
Pornography with body hair.
I mean, this has been a conversation I wasn't expecting. Even though I know you, I wasn't expecting to go this way.
Going towards the pornography region, yeah. I'm a bit sad about Mrs. Frohlan. I even saw her little thumbnail prop up. It's been a theme of this chat. She's a bit like Samuel Beckett's Godot. We're Vladimir and Estragon. We're just waiting for Godot to show up. And you're like, no, any day now. No, she'll be along. Do it. Wait, is that her? No, that's not her either. And then she never comes, ladies and gentlemen. Isn't that life in a nutshell?
Yeah. It's a sad, sad tale. I'm loving how people are asking about your pubes.
Oh, you filthy, filthy pups. Do you know what's another thing I found on Instagram, which is a cool way to help the environment? And again, I probably get a disproportionate amount of smugness and satisfaction from using it. But it's an app called Tree App. And it's UK based, but they, in fairness to them, they do their due diligence in the sense that they have every tree they plant, they have satellite imagery maintenance. You know, they stay with the forestation that they've done, and they'll even share with you every planting site, everything they've done, and everything they're caring for. So they seem like they're legit. And what you do through the app is you watch a 30-second ad, you watch a 30-second commercial, and that has on average kind of equaled out to the planting of one tree, which of course means the prep of that tree, the planting of that tree, the aftercare of that tree, So, you know, if any of you have, like I have, a little bit of climate anxiety that sort of is there throughout the day, there you go, Tree App. It's a nice way to kind of offset it, you know. It's a nice little daily ritual, you know, in case you have some climate anxiety that you need to offset.
Yeah, no, and I'll say another good one is World Land Trust, where you can actually say, I want an acre, and that acre is going to be saved forever, and they give the money to local people to look after it. So it creates jobs as well.
Wow.
Mrs. Fowling, check your...
World Land Trust.
Yeah, World Land Trust, they're really, really good. So Mrs. Fowling is saying, check your requests again.
Okay. Tap a question. These are questions. Which ones are requests?
I can't see what you're seeing.
Oh, Mrs. Fowling, I was looking at the wrong bleeding symbol. Come on now. Come on. Where is it?
She did say she's going to get a drink in a minute. So
there she is. Accept.
Here we go. Oh, the anticipation is killing us.
Hey, Mrs. Fowling! Could it be you? I'm so sorry again. Lateness was my fault, and then
Rob,
bringing you into the conversation also my fault.
Just say goodbye now. After all this time, just be like, no, that's us done, pal. Sorry.
I'm fine.
Miss Fowling, can we congratulate you for your wonderful artwork on our comic? It was.
Oh, thank you.
It's superb. I get to be proud of your work by proxy.
Well, you did the writing. I just did the painting.
Yeah.
Oh, come on. You did more than that. There's so much subtlety in artwork, you know, that the kind of the expressions, the weight, the anticipation. It's visual joke telling. It's great.
Yeah, visual joke telling. That's hard.
It's just so kind all the time. I'm blushing already.
You say I'm kind. I was offering to send him pornography to his niece and nephew in a comic book. That's not kind.
We were scraping the barrel, Val. We were scraping the barrel. Do you know what I really like about it? In the National Portrait Gallery, there's that Blur album cover where it has the 4 portraits of the 4 guys, and like their features are minimal. You know, their eyes are just tiny dots, and their hair is really minimal. But at the same time, you can completely tell which is which. You know what I mean? And that kind of expressiveness from that is in our comic book, thanks to you, Val. You know, it has that, like, you know, I think human beings project, you know, if they understand the context of the story, they project the emotion all on their own, you know. And the faces of the billionaire's banquet just do enough, do plenty to kind of let the reader fill in the emotional gap. And it works so beautifully, you know.
I haven't seen the comic in like months, so I guess you're right.
You're not watching the live stream. We've been showing it to people.
Yeah.
I was having connection problems and drinking, so I didn't see it.
Well, you can go to Rewriting Extinction after this.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I will.
This live, and it'll be up there, fresh.
Really?
Oh, Argentina are up by 1 goal against the Netherlands.
Wow.
Go on.
Am I going to guess that you're perhaps not a football fan, Val, from your expression?
I'm not.
I think I felt a bit of your soul just die as that.
It's true.
Do you know what I get all? I'm not too fussed about the football, but I get all caught up in the World Cup. Oh, it's absolutely detrimental to my work ethic. I'm supposed to be sitting here editing something, writing something, but I'm too busy watching the bleeding World Cup. I'm almost looking forward to the final so that it's over, so I can get back to unobstructed staring at a laptop, basically.
And what are you writing? What are you writing at the moment?
I'm doing a second book, which is very, very different to the first book, but I can't really talk about it because otherwise I would be violating a contract with the publishers. And
Watching.
Washing. Oh
Watching.
yeah, but it's a very, very different beast to the first book, and probably kind of springish time, summery time of next year, they'll start kind of talking about it in a way. But it's you know,
Ominous.
it's very ominous. If the world hasn't ended by next summer, you know, I could talk about it in more detail. But it's a little bit more about me as opposed to being fiction. I'll tell you that. Hello, Alexandra. Right, now, your bidding is done. So, Val, where are you then? Are you in Germany?
I am, yeah.
Cool. Whereabouts?
Where? I told Paul before, I'm in Saarbrücken. You know Saarbrücken?
Sunny Saarbrücken.
It's the Alabama of Germany, people call it.
In a good way.
Many people, but everybody needs love. So.
Yeah, indeed we do. God knows.
And yeah, guys, if you haven't already followed Miss Fraulein, Mrs. Fraulein, sorry, absolutely do. Val is phenomenal, hilarious, wholesome, cute, but also has this like wicked dark vibe. Go give her a follow now.
Yeah. Mrs. Fräulein. MRS.FROLLEIN, right?
All right.
Nice one.
Good spelling.
Thank you. On my gifts. So yeah, where are you, Paul? Then are you down in somewhere in the south of England? Are you?
Yeah. So I'm in the land, in Wiltshire, in the land of Stonehenge, Harry Potter films, and unexplained crop circles. There is fuck all else going on down here apart from that.
The bored children of farmers.
Well, yeah, that is pretty true, actually. I like it though. I like it. I've got like a little garden out there, and I get lots of wildlife. No fucker comes here unless they actually want to see me. There's no passing traffic. It's nice. I like it. And where are you, mate? Because is that your house you're in?
No, it's not my house, but it is my house for the time being. I'm in the Wiltshire/Alabama of Spain.
I'm loving the great big grand columns behind you.
I know, it's mad, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's very, very Spanish villa aesthetic, you know, kind of quite retro, quite 60s, 70s. But I'm also out in the middle of nowhere, and I'm there. I'm here for all those same reasons as you, Paul. I'm just out in the quiet, you know. I can't really, like, I work in cities and stuff, but I can't really be in cities if I don't need to be anymore.
Snap. Yeah,
Can't
snap.
be arsed.
Yeah, I hear you there. Although I'm hoping to drag you to a city to take you on a wild and debauched night soon.
Wild and debauched. Christ.
Both.
So there's no wildery and debauchery in Wiltshire, no?
I mean, it gets a little bit. It'll be me and you, so it'll be a little bit weird.
Yeah. Kicking us out at 10:30 closing. Well, I suppose we'd meet in London, would we?
Yeah, or wherever you want. I mean, I travel a lot, but yeah, I'm just going to try and get you on video admitting it, so then I can hold you to it, and that's all I'm looking for right now.
All right. Well, Val, you've got to admit to it too. I can't be on my own here.
I do.
That is a very good shout.
I'm in London.
Binding.
Oh, when are you in London?
I don't know.
Summer. Well, we should probably take this offline so we don't get stalkers. But here's the date.
Here's my address. Here's my phone number.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. If you can do sort of like some sort of Morse code, I'll write it down.
I hear you, Jasmine Kinesha. I hear you. I'll see you on set. Sorry, someone there's sent me the same message a few times.
Okay.
And Amber. Hello, Amber. God love you.
So, has anyone got any questions for
Yeah.
me from Rewriting Extinction? I should have actually said, no one's even said my name yet, I don't think. So I'm Paul Goodenough if no one knows who I am. Or for Val, who's Mrs. Fraulein, or any questions at all. Something we can answer.
Yeah, about stuff. Robert, pass me your phone number. 0759 412 9465.
What's your inside leg measurements?
Yeah, I don't know what that is actually. I'm not sure.
Someone said, "Save me, Barry."
When does the comic come out? After this Instagram live on the site Rewriting Extinction and on my page, and
absolutely,
probably on Mrs. Fraulein's one and all.
No.
Any kind of no.
She's completely distant, Rob. She's like, no, I've got better things to do on my feed than this comic I made with you.
Damn space.
Not on
say hello to Laura. Hello, Laura.
Go on then, Val. Give us your excuse.
I mean, Mrs. Fräulein is like a brand, and it's wholesome. And I'm doing like a Christmas run right now, so I can.
Traitor.
Yeah. So I saw Suzanne ask a question of, do we think that climate change or comics suit climate change as a method of getting across new information to new people?
Yes.
So if either of you want to answer that.
Yes.
Done. Yes.
Done. There you go.
Well, Val, you're an expert.
I am. I think comics are good for getting across anything, everything, all information.
What I love about comics is you can go anywhere at any point in time. You can put words in the mouths of everything from humans to rocks, and you can make people care about the stupidest and the most silly thing. And you can make them cry, you can make them laugh, you can make them aroused, you can make them depressed. But comic art does it better than, for me, anything else in terms of just distilling complex things down into very, very simple, the simplest format. So so that's my very, very biased take.
I saw someone pop up there say, how can businesses get involved? So if anybody kind of from a commercial perspective wants to get involved, I suppose contact you through Rewriting Extinction page.
Yeah, absolutely. Just give Rewriting Extinction a follow or at Paul Goodenough and just drop me a line. Just to be super clear, we'll only work with, of course, businesses who are trying to do some good in the planet. Rather than just like, if you're, no offense, Shell or BP, probably not so interested.
You named them, or
I did.
China,
I named them. My name's shamed. But if there are businesses out there looking, also who want advice, if anyone out there just wants a bit of advice of things they can do in their home, like one of the laziest things I know is to plant a clover lawn if you've got grass. Clover doesn't grow very high. You don't need to mow it. It actually also attracts loads of pollinators and bees and butterflies, and it looks shitter all year round.
Oh,
super lazy.
What a beautiful piece of advice, because the lawn always struck me as strange. Like just general people in the UK and Ireland, and beyond, I'm sure, but in my experience, like lawns don't suit them. Like,
No.
they're loads of work. They're a pain in the arse.
Yeah.
They're mostly, it's not grass. It's not a native species to those islands.
Exactly.
So they're just trying to prop up something's life with the patch of land that they have. And you just think, why not activate the land a little? You know, find a way to, like clover, find something that will grow naturally of its own accord. You don't have to be mowing it every fucking 2 weeks in summertime.
Absolutely, and it looks great, mate. So, like, when I go out there, say you walk through and like, loads of butterflies come out and stuff. It's just lovely.
Oh,
and it takes no effort. No effort is definitely my game.
Yeah, no, less effort and more joy for the little insectoids.
But yeah, anyone can drop me a line. I'm always basically checking my DMs, so I'm always happy to give anyone any advice, from a business to a person to somebody who actually wants to ask some stupid question. If you're feeling like there's no one you know who to ask how to get into this stuff, or you want to ask a question you feel stupid about, come and ask me. Come and ask me.
Yeah, indeed. Someone said, please say hello to me, Paulina. Hello, Paulina. Paulina.
Wow.
I just want to say something, Ina. Greetings from the Netherlands.
You could
what
have said
first got you into climate restoration? Just a sense of anxiety, like a sense of like the weather changing rapidly in our lifetime, the significant reduction of wildlife, of places where they live, the massive over-industrialization of the land. It's all, isn't it? For many of you, doesn't it create this sort of this? It's almost like the universe going, something's wrong here, rebalance. And I get that message through my intuition, which again surpasses rationalism, surpasses all that. I get it through my body, through like, I suppose my, emotion brain, but it affects me very deeply. So that, I think that's the disjunct. That's the cool thing about rewriting Extinction, is that it's the disjunct between sharing information about the climate and the disastrous situation that it's in, and that feeling about the climate. It's like sharing it verbally does not reach that place. You cannot get to that place through language, I think, but you can get there through story, and so I think that's why rewriting Extinction is so brilliant.
Oh, thanks, man. And Val, what about you? How's it over in Germany? Because I haven't been to Germany now for 3 or 4 years. How does it feel over there? Environmentally, I mean, not just like it's cold.
I don't know. It feels like it always does. I've been living here for 10 years now, so.
And do you think that there's kind of a feeling with young people and the populace of Germany that actually things need to change, or is it quite a hard sell, environmentalism?
I don't know. I don't go out a lot, so I don't.
Do you know what? Sorry, Val. Sorry.
No, go on, please.
I was going to say, I saw a really good one pop up there a second ago. It said, I have a physical disability, but I want to help with the climate crisis. I thought that's a really interesting angle. And one thing that popped into my head was composting. I really, really enjoy composting. I get a disproportionate amount of joy out of composting. So if you take all of your, non-meat, non-dairy, non-bread food waste, and then you, keep it in the freezer so it doesn't smell. You can, create a big bag of it. And then, all you do is you mix it in layers. So you put, let's say, some dead grass, some dead browns, so greens and browns, and then your food waste, green, brown food waste, green, brown food waste. And then after a few weeks, give that a little turn, give it a little da-da-da-da-da, and then you've got the best, most fertile soil on earth. It's absolutely, it's magical, and it's like cooking a cool meal. It's so exciting to have something glorious at the end of it, it's a really, really nice thing to do at home.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. And soil health is one of the biggest problems on our planet at the moment. We've got about 40 years of soil health left. If we keep going as we are, perhaps even less. Someone just quickly asked if I could quickly show the comic again, like, and refresh you, Val.
Yeah.
I think we might be getting, that might be a nice time to then also actually launch the comic.
Oh, that's what it looks like.
So this is basically the first panel. Rob, did you do your lovely narration again?
Oh, okay then. So it's a billionaire's banquet. All the rich, all the 1% are all sitting around a glorious table. They've got waiters in tuxedos and they're being fed. And the man says, "Dinner is served."
And what are they eating?
And then he reveals dinner, the glorious banquet. And it's nothing but a load of cash and gold coins. What? And then he says, "But why? That's money." I've made him English, but you can't blame me. That's correct, sir. I'll make the waiter German. It's all that's left, sir.
That's your German accent? Wow.
Yeah. Look,
das ist mein Liebling.
Mainly from children's cartoons.
And we're only going to reveal the last panel in a moment when we get off this call, which is actually, I think it's got to end in a few minutes because we're actually at the hour limit.
We're coming up to the hour. Shehab are saying, "Save the live." Reminder. I hear you, Shehab. Thank you for being there. You're a wonderful support. I love you. And listen, I look forward to meeting you and going on this mad, debauched night out that we're talking about, Paul Goodenough and Val.
And Val, we need to get you over to London.
Yeah.
Come on.
Let's do this thing. Well, thank you, everyone, for listening to me ramble on. But like I say, if anyone's got any questions or anything they want to know more about the environment, how to save animals, how to take some lazy steps yourself, just drop me a line, Paul Goodenough, or drop us a line at Rewriting Extinction. Our DMs are always open and we're always happy to help.
Thank you for having me for like 10 minutes. Was that?
Thanks for sticking with us, Val, with me. Thanks, love. Thanks for taking the time. All of you who patched in, appreciate it. Thanks, Val. Thanks, Paul. Really appreciate you. And let's keep fighting the good fight, everyone. Rock and roll.
Lots of love, mate. I'll speak to you soon, yeah?
Don't go changing.
Bye-bye.
Ciao.
Bye.
Saving the live.